we are out on the hunt for one of the world's critical metals, and that is copper. And here to tell me more about their Briggs Copper Project is the Managing Director of Alma Metals, Frazer Tabeart. Frazer, it's a pleasure to see you again. How are you?
I'm really well, Shay. Good to see you again too. Hope you're well too.
I certainly am. Now let's talk about big news coming out for Alma. You have got your eyes on the first assays of 2026. Mate, what are your thoughts now that you see them?
Yeah, look, really pleasing. So, as you're aware, 2026 and 2027 are going to be very big years for Alma. So we've started a very significant infill drilling program, which will sort of underpin our pre-feasibility study for the Briggs project. So these assays are for the very first three holes that are part of that program. They've been drilled into basically the northern and central part of the central porphyry. In what we know is the lower grade core, and these holes absolutely met our expectations of what we thought we were going to find. So we've had very long runs, hundreds of meters, 300-400 meters at sort of 0.15 to 0.2% copper in these holes. Very significant amounts of metal in them, and they're showing that the mineralisation confirms again that it's basically running from surface down to as deep as we've drilled in this area. So it's targeting the first 10 to 15 years of potential mining operations. Those holes all ended in mineralisation because we could have just kept on drilling and drilling. But very specifically, we're targeting here, like I said, the first 10 to 15 years of production that would allow us to do a MRE upgrade later this year and support putting out further information on scoping studies. And it's showing that the mineralisation is still open at depths of 400 metres below surface. So very encouraging results.
They certainly are very encouraging results. But now that you've got these assays in hand, how does this fit into the bigger picture for the Briggs Copper Project?
Well, it's no surprises. I mean, it's showing that Briggs is behaving in a very predictable manner. These drill results are absolutely aligned with grade predictions from our current mineral resource estimate block model. So it's showing that there's not a huge amount of variability in Briggs, so we're not going to get huge negative surprises. We're probably not going to get huge positive surprises either, except where we expect to see higher grades. So it's validating the resource block model. It's also validating our surface geochemistry. These holes were drilled into some of the lower parts of the geochemical anomaly, and the grades sort of reflect that. Notwithstanding that, they're still going to be highly economic in our view. What it does do, though, is validate that geochemistry so that we know when we get to drill the northwest part of the deposit, we should expect to see significantly higher grades in the drilling. That's supported by the block model and the surface geochemistry. And we've got several exploration targets that are outside of the existing MRE boundary that are supported by surface geochemistry. And it gives us a very high degree of confidence that those are going to deliver something very interesting when we get to drill those later this season.
Now, you made the case at the start of today's interview that 2026 into 2027 is going to be a big year for Alma Metals. I'm going to hold you to that now. Tell me, what can investors look forward to hearing about in the next 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months?
Yeah, so 3 months, it's predominantly about the this drilling campaign that's just kicked off. So we've obviously just released the first set of assays. We've got more assays that we expect to see in, I'd say, another month or so. And then probably a month after that, we'll see the next set. So we're going to see sort of assays now on a month-by-month basis. That over the next 6 months, we expect to complete probably around about 12,000 metres of drilling between now and the end of the year. That'll allow us to do an interim update of the mineral resource estimate. That also means, assuming the numbers fall in place, that we'll have a high enough proportion of indicated to inferred resource in that MRE update, to revisit the scoping study and just update that and publish some of those numbers. It supports our ongoing metallurgical test work programs, and we'll be providing more material for that. And then next year, we plan to drill at least the same amount of meters, if not more, so that by the middle of next year we can do a sort of another update to the mineral resource estimate. Hopefully that'll convert pretty much all of the inferred resource to indicated, and that's what then underpins the engineering studies, mining studies, process studies for our pre-feasibility study. So, it's part of a very deliberate sort of 12 to 18 month program of de-risking the project, certainly de-risking the geology, allowing us to then update the mineral process flow sheet, and then apply those mining studies. And we pull that all together into a pre-feasibility document towards the end of 2027.
Well, congratulations on these results and how they're feeding into the big picture ahead for Alma. Frazer, thank you so much for taking some time today, and I can't wait for the next update.
It's a pleasure as always. Thanks, Shay.